delighted to be with Nathan Blake, former footballer and also now a co-commentator with the BBC. To start off, Nathan, how did you, when you retired from football, when did you really find out that this was the route you wanted to go down?
Well, I retired in 2005 or 6, something like that. Done some work building houses and stuff like that, not physically with my own hands, but done some work building houses and stuff, and then fell into commentary. I think the first time was, 2012, 13. Just done it, got asked to do it by someone at BBC Wales. Never done it before, and then found out I was okay at it, and they invited me back and back and back, and then I've just slowly moved into this sort of weird media position where I do like commentary or podcasting or presenting or voiceovers or anything like that. So I've kind of stumbled into it.
Yeah. So when you obviously went into that environment, was it something that it's quite unique? Or I say it's quite unique, but it's something that a lot of players now tend to go down, either that or coaching. Was that sort of the main?
Yeah, I think it was I wasn't in and around football before I started doing the commentary. I actually sort of took like a 5-year sabbatical from it. So between probably 2005, 6 and 10, 11, didn't really do much, done a bit of charity work, and obviously I had 1 or 2 other business interests. So no, it was never something that if you had said to me at the point of my retirement, you'd end up doing that. It was never something that I thought I'd end up doing. So it's purely accidental, coincidental, whatever you want to call it.
Was that with then when you did decide to do it, with that you sort of seen yourself in a way that's especially when you sort of go from playing to then sitting in the stand and analysing it, is it quite different?
It is very different. It's easy sitting in the stand, really easy. But I would say what I've always been able to do is talk about football and break it down. I mean, I was coached when I was 7 or 8, probably from about the 8 years old, by a gentleman named Harry Lee, who could have been a footballer himself, didn't. Not because he wasn't good enough, but he decided to get married. Times were different them days. But he coached myself and my friends over on the Ringland Estate in Newport. We used to go to the Spencer Boys Club every night of the week and play football 4 nights a week, and you do all sports on the Wednesday, and then you played for the club on a Sunday. So I had a really good grounding and a good understanding of how and why you're doing things. And then when I moved into professional game, I was able to play, well, I did for Cardiff City. I played every position on the pitch. I played left back in my debut, a year at centre half. Right back, I covered, centre mid, right mid. Left wing was my position as a kid, and at Cardiff mainly, and centre forward I covered. So having that understanding of being able to play every position is a really difficult skill. And then I suppose it's being able to take on knowledge when you're being coached from an early age, which gives you a greater understanding of the game, which allows me to explain it quite clearly from a commentary perspective.
What have you learnt then from, especially in the commentary side of it, with this sort of, obviously people are listening to you talk and your opinion, is it something where you might have to sort of see things in a different way than maybe if you were a fan, where you've sort of quite...
Yeah, I mean, I always try and, remember that I'm a former player. So, you've been there, done it, got the T-shirt. So my job isn't to criticize, right? And if there's critical analysis, if you criticize, then, you've got you've got to be able to give an understanding of why you're being critical. You don't just throw it out there. You have to give opinion on what you would do next. Yeah? How do you fix this? What's your solutionize? I use another word. What's the solution to what the problem is? So if a player's having a bad time and his confidence is affected, that confidence could be affected by anything. He could have bad time at home, a parent could be ill, a wife could be struggling, a dog could have died yesterday, a kid not very well, a lack of sleep, which is everyday life happens to footballers as well. So like I say, my job isn't to really criticize, my job is to solutionize more than anything else.
Have you found that, like, when as well, sort of coming in today and sort of sharing what you like, your experience and stuff like that, is that something where it's an industry where people should be coming into, because you can not just doing something maybe where you go into cover the sport you love, but you get sort of mixture, many different things, maybe passions into one.
Yeah. So being amongst younger people is great, giving sort of advice and help towards kids like yourself on courses. If I can help, I will. I just don't think, some people might be different. I'm not a person that sees myself as a star or a celebrity or anything like that. I'm just a dude born in Ely and raised in England, as simple as that. And if I can help someone to further their own career, and I'm able to do it, then I'll give it a go.
Last question is, if you were talking to the students and you'd have the advice, what would you sort of give to them?
My advice is always, what you know is as important, if not more important. Who you know, is as important, if not more important, than what you know. You guys are on a course, you will learn what you're doing and blah, blah, but the connections on the outside world is what gives you opportunity. Although, what we're doing now is right off your own bat. So, people are able to produce their own sort of channels and production companies and what have you, which is a lot better than what it used to be. But my motto is, who you know is strictly top of the notch, really.
Thank you for spending
Cheers,
your time. No
Pleasure.
problem.